that doesn't mean, as our news commentators say every day in the United States, that because someone's name is there, they committed a crime. But I think there's a lot of very troubling and really horrific information coming out. I've called for, many, many years for everything to be put out there so people can not only see what is in them, but also, if appropriate, hold people accountable.
I'd like to ask you, I'm the mother of a daughter, and it absolutely horrifies me to see what the Epstein files have brought out. And I wanted to ask you, what does it say about Western values when Western leaders have perpetuated and participated in these horrific abuses of minors and girls?
Thank you very much. We have gone everywhere from New Start to Epstein. Via some fundamental questions of the critique of rules-based order from the left, of civilization versus values, of conservatism versus liberalism in the US, and other things. Secretary Clinton, as there are a couple directly to you, let me start with you, and then everyone else gets about a minute, and you get a minute and a tiny bit.
Yeah, I heard three in particular. To the last question, it's horrifying, and we're hoping that there will be continued release every day that passes. That doesn't mean, as our news commentators say every day in the United States, that because someone's name is there, they committed a crime. But I think there's a lot of very troubling and really horrific information coming out. Today, it came out that Steve Bannon was trying to get Jeffrey Epstein to help him overthrow Pope Francis. I guess that was part of the civilizational
true conservatism.
True conservatism. So it is something that needs to be totally transparent. I've called for many, many years for everything to be put out there so people can not only see what is in them, but also, if appropriate, hold people accountable. We'll see what happens. On the New START treaty, which we were, the foreign minister and I were talking about this just backstage. We actually signed, President Obama signed the New START treaty in Prague. And it was, one in a series of efforts to restrain the proliferation of nuclear weapons, to control the U.S. and Russian arsenals. And I think it's a very big mistake for it to have been allowed to expire. I know that there was an offer, apparently, from the Russians to extend it a year, during which there could be some negotiations. The Trump administration refused that. And their response was that they wanted to try to get China and other nuclear weapons countries into a regime, which more power to them if they could ever manage that and if it could be achieved. But I am very worried because Trump also, he tweets, or I guess he X's or whatever he does on social media late at night, and one of his recent ones was to resume nuclear testing, underground nuclear testing, and I think that would be a terrible development. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, and I'm hoping that there can be some efforts to reinstate some kind of nuclear arms agreements. With respect to this question, if you think about the 13 colonies, that was a creed. It was an idea. It was a philosophy. It did not include the entire continental United States, let alone Alaska and Hawaii. It was based on the founders' deep understanding of human nature, of philosophy, of what we might call liberal thought, as they created a new country. And, when I hear President or Vice President Vance say things like that about how it's a nation, it's blood and soil, and all the ways that he talks about it, I think to myself, I never knew he was such a firm advocate for Native Americans, because the idea that you would have an approach toward the United States that ripped away our founding documents, our founding philosophies, is so contrary to the way I understand American history. So I think that it's not only wrong historically, it is a political device that I think is very dangerous and should be rejected whole cloth.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.